Please welcome director Peggy Holmes. Yeah, that's the little girl there.
Oh my goodness. Hi, everyone. So exciting.
Thanks for being here, Peggy. When I first met Peggy outside, I told her one of the things I love about this film is the action sequences. There is so much character and story being told on the set pieces where there is no dialogue, it's action. Can you tell us about your approach behind those scenes?
Yeah, that's so exciting. You know, as you saw, Sam has the worst bad luck ever, right? So we wanted it to be kind of relatable bad luck that we can all relate to. And also, you know, we wanted, you know, the emotional arc of the story is that Sam is alone and ultimately gets a forever family. So that meant that she's going to be by herself in these scenes. So we were like, okay, she has bad luck. She's by herself. There's no one to talk to. Let's just hold hands and commit to the idea that we are just going to explore physical comedy. So we turned to sort of some of the physical comedy greats like Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett and Buster Keaton and Donald O'Connor. You know, I was a dancer, so I grew up watching all of that stuff, you know, and love it so much. So we just basically held hands and worked with the story team to just create as many funny bad luck things as we could.
Speaking of, it's very tricky to balance being sequences like that could be violent, but they're on the verge of being violent, but they remain very funny. Also, on the same vein, the character of Sam, we never feel sorry for her, although all these bad things are happening in those sequences. You could have felt sorry for her, but you don't. Can you talk about that approach?
Yeah, I will say that really came out of research. So myself and Keel Murray, our writer, we got to meet with these group of young adults who had lived experience in the foster care system, who had very similar lives to our lead character, Sam. They had grown up in foster care. They had been in many, many homes and had aged out. And now they're alone in the world. And we got to talk with these young people, and we were just completely inspired and impressed by how hopeful they were about life, right? So despite the real bad luck they have in their life and the circumstance that led them to sort of not have a family and to grow up in foster care or group homes, they were so positive, and they were holding down 2 jobs, going to school. They were incredibly generous of heart. They understand what love means. They understand what family means. They cherish it because it's the thing they didn't have. And we were like, wow, these young people are the heroes of their own life, and we were just inspired to make Sam that way, that in spite her bad luck, yes, totally, despite her bad luck, she keeps going, you know, and not to say they didn't have moments of sort of sharing what it really feels like to them, and one of those things was somewhere inside, even though people tell them, it's not you, it's just circumstance, this has nothing to do with you, they feel somewhere deep inside that it's them. Mm-hmm. And at some point in their life, someone comes into their life and tells them, and they can finally hear it, that they are not their bad luck and it doesn't define them. So we were just really inspired by these young adults that we met.
After what we've gone through the past 2 years, my biggest takeaway with the film, which was eye-opening, was the notion of that bad luck and good luck go together, that you cannot have good luck if you don't experience bad luck. And the idea of pivoting when you're confronted with bad things is so timely. Can you talk about those ideas?
Yeah, we were, by the way, humans are obsessed with luck. So when I first got on the movie, I started researching luck. There are so many papers and lectures about luck, and there's so many. And one thing became very clear to me in the first 2 weeks of research, which was that luck is random. You can't create it, you can't control it. And at the same time, one thing about luck is, as you saw with the story, is sometimes like what you think as the worst bad luck ever, 2 years later, you look back and you go, oh gosh, but if that hadn't happened, it wouldn't have led me to this thing. And so then you look at it, was it good luck or bad luck? You know, which was it? So we were just really inspired by how we all perceive luck in our lives.
And when did you guys decided to actually articulate that aspect with the land of luck and then the bad luck underneath? That they're like, pun intended, two sides of the same coin. But
Oh my gosh, you're so smart.
No,
Yeah,
but
go.
you, oh, thank you. But you articulated it visually.
Yeah, so we had done a lot of research on luck, like lucky icons all around the world, right? So because they mean different things to different countries. So we had done all of our research about, you know, good luck and bad luck symbols around the world, symbols, colors, numbers, and we handed that research over to our production designer, Fred Warder. And we said, here's all the research. I wanted the story to go to a place that we've never seen before. And we gave all that stuff to Fred Warder. And he took about a week, and the very first sketch he did was two worlds sitting on opposite sides of a coin. So it was actually the very first image he did for the movie, and we were like, okay, yes, thank you, let's take it from there. So it really came out of this amazing artist named Fred Warder.
You've worked on animation before. How creating the land of luck from scratch, is that harder than to actually paint something on the screen that it's reality, that is on a world that we know? Which one is harder?
It's harder. It's harder to create. It's harder to create. And when you're thinking about animation, you know, I worked as a dancer and a choreographer in live action also, so I know live action. And in animation, sometimes I even forget, like when you see the movie, an artist had to build every single pixel. You know what I mean? If you and I are sitting there and we're holding microphones, this has to be built. It has to be designed and then built in 3D. So I think that's where, you know, animation is just like a labor of love. You know, you can't just go to a location and film. You actually have to build the location, you know? And then in terms of the creative decisions around, you know, building a world we've never seen before, you know, we rely a lot on our art department. We talk them through the story, and it really just all comes down to what does the story need, you know? So we just made sure that as we developed the story, we had weekly meetings with the art department to tell them what we were thinking, you know, so that they could be right along for the ride.
I was noticing that in the land of luck, everything is based on clockwork. Like everything moves like the way that a clock would work. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that all came. Yeah, that all came from the idea of if you have a land of good luck, everything works perfectly. So if you think about the best day you've had when everything just goes like clockwork, and you're like, okay, this is like, I'm not going to have another day like this, but I'm going to enjoy this day. Well, they have that 24/7, and there's no need for railings or you know, like guide tracks, or there's just no need for any of that because nothing ever goes wrong. So that sort of drove how we kind of created that world, is it just all had to work seamlessly.
And the fact that the two authority figures in the land of luck happen to be women. We have the captain, played by Whoopi Goldberg, and we have Jane Fonda playing Babe the Dragon. You know, tell us about that choice of making them women in positions of power.
Yeah, well, one of the first week I was on the movie, we were sort of took again all that research and handed it to the story artists and the art department, and we said, here's all the research. I said, I want to create like a magical world we've never seen before. Go, you know, and you give these amazing artists, you know, just the space to just create. And so out of that assignment came the dragon, actually. That came out of that assignment. We're like, yes, okay, we want a dragon. And a dragon is lucky in many cultures. Yeah, a dragon is lucky. And so, you know, once we saw the dragon, and she's 40 foot tall, and she's really powerful, and, you know, Jane Fonda has a great relationship with Skydance, right? Because she did Grace and Frankie.
Yeah.
And so we were like, do you think Jane would consider doing this. So we had a beautiful pitch meeting with her and showed her what we were thinking, and we lucked out. She was like, yes, I'm in. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. And Whoopi?
And Whoopi was, I think the idea of Whoopi came out of our casting department, Jason Hinkle, our casting department, and I adore Whoopi. In my old world of dance and choreography, you know, our paths had crossed a couple times. We don't really know each other. Like, I'm not her friend, but you know, she was just all about it. She loves, actually, which we didn't know at the time, she loves leprechauns and fairies. So when we approached her about being a leprechaun, she went nuts. She was just like, I'm totally in.
And I don't think we've ever seen a black leprechaun, which is...
And Whoopi was beside herself. She was like just so excited. And just like a little fun fact, you know that cool jacket she has? Well, I'm a huge Prince fan, and I thought, oh, Prince was sort of a petite performer, but always wore these big jackets. So I basically was paying homage to Prince by giving her that fierce jacket.
That's fantastic.
I know. And Whoopi, by the way, recording with Whoopi, I mean, she gets up, she does The View in the morning, right? And then she'd come to us and we do records and we do it all over Zoom. And she's just amazing, just works so hard.
And what was it like having Jane Fonda read the lines from the movie and working with her?
Oh my gosh. She had never done voiceover before. And as you can imagine, I think that's why, part of why Jane is such a great actress. She is a very curious person. She wants to know how things work, right? So what we decided to do was bring her into the story meetings. So it's all over Zoom. We had to make this movie all over Zoom. And so Jane was in the Zoom meeting, and our story team got to pitch their sequences of Jane's scenes to Jane. And so she got to see, you know, the iteration process. Like, I often say that animation is much more like theater than live action film, because you're constantly iterating as you bring the characters to life. And so Jane, in that meeting, as the story artists were pitching these amazing pencil drawings, and she could see the poses that a 40-foot dragon could make, you watched her start to take on the character, like right before your eyes.
Wow.
She started to become, and then she's like, wait, I have 6 arms. Wait, I have a really long tail. So she had this great idea of taking that tail and wrapping it around her body like a boa. And we used it in the movie, you know, and there were a couple other things that came out of that session that we just really got to collaborate with her, and she loved it. She loved it.
I know for a fact that in animation, it's really hard to do hair. And you have Bob, the cat, and we're able to see the fur in him and the detail. Can you tell us about animating, how challenging it was to animate the cat?
Yeah, it was especially challenging, not only the fur, but the fact that he was black. And we had to use black because black cats in Scotland are lucky. But, you know, in a lot of places they aren't. And we thought that was a great story point once we did the research. So we committed to being a black cat. So it was really just a matter of the lighters doing test after test after test to see how can we make his facial expressions read properly. You know what I mean? How does he not look like a kitten? I'm trying to think what are the other things that were, sometimes he'd look gray and not black. So it was literally trial and error to kind of find that sweet spot where he looked, like you said, like you wanted to pet him and hold him, but, you know, his silhouette read cleanly.
Sam has such a gorgeous arc where it's all about her, coming to terms of who she is as a character. And we watch her throughout the movie having that growth. You know, can you tell us about that, you know, calibrating her growth throughout the movie?
Yeah, it really, again, just came from us talking with these young adults who had been through this before. Do you know? Because then you know you've struck something very, very genuine. And one of the stories they told us was that their counselors had shared with us that, like, oftentimes at Christmas, they do a Christmas boutique so that they could get something for Christmas, because otherwise they might not have a Christmas gift. And these kids don't get something for themselves. They get something for their friend, they get something for a cousin or a sibling. And for Keel and I, we were like, that's the story. If Sam had a little good luck in her hands, she would want that for Hazel, for someone else, and not for herself, right? Because she'd be so generous of heart. So that helped us really kind of define Sam will be going after luck for someone else so that Hazel doesn't end up like her, right? And through that amazing generousness of heart, ultimately she'll get a forever family. You know, I always knew. I come from a big family, and the feeling of belonging to that family is something I cherish so much in my life, and I always knew that she would go from having no family to finding a forever family. So we committed to that, and it was just a matter of how do we weave it through, how do we weave it through, and then how do we create that great moment where someone comes into their life and tells them, you are not your bad luck, and you can finally hear it in a way that you believe it. And we thought, we'll make it Bob. We'll make it a cat. It just, to me, it says for us that you can find your forever family, but it might not look the way you thought. A forever family can look many, many different ways. And we have since been able to hear from a lot of the audience that have seen this, and that is resonating with people so much.
Yeah. Tell us about casting Eva. I saw her on Broadway in Hadestown. Tony, she was nominated for the Tony for that. Tell us about casting her.
Yeah. So we wanted an actress that was similar to my particular ethnicity, and I'm Filipino and Irish, and we wanted an actress that was similar to that because we've sort of kind of designed Sam, the look of her, off of my own family, and so Eva was one of the actors in the mix, and we met her, and she read for us, and she's so amazing, and plus I always knew I wanted some song in the movie, and she's an incredible singer. That's her singing those songs, and so she got it. It wasn't that hard of a decision. Like once we heard her and saw her and met her, it was pretty easy to cast her.
And Madonna's Lucky Star was always the song you...
Yeah, for me, it was always the song. As soon as when I was dancing in film and television, it was in the 80s, so that's like my total vibe is the 80s and Madonna and all of that stuff. So I knew I wanted to kind of pay homage to that period.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of music, John Dabney, I love the score. There is ethnic flavors in the music. Tell us about working with John.
Yeah, I know it sounds a bit corny, but honestly, my husband is a music editor, so there's many scores playing in our house all the time, and Dabney has always been my favorite. I'm a massive fan of Elf, and for me, there's no one that does heart and comedy better. And so it was, again, just like meeting with John and pitching him the story, and a lot of people got on board because they love the idea of the story, right? Mm-hmm. Finding a forever family and connection, So we just lucked out. I mean, Dabney is unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
And I do have to ask you about the zero gravity, the moment when they switch back and forth. Tell us about arriving to that idea, and how difficult was it to animate the switch? Yeah,
the switch, what was difficult was the hair. Like getting her hair to go like this and then turn and then turn and turn. Again, for me, it was like an homage to sort of the great Fred Astaire moment, right, of turning in the
Royal
thing.
Wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it was tough. I will say we did many, many versions of that scene. The visual effects guys with the hair just like kept going and going and going. And then once they got on track, I actually approved it. And they go, wait, there's a couple more things we want to do. And I'm like, okay, do it. You earned it. Go ahead, make those final tweaks. So yeah, it was super exciting. And then we mixed the movie up at Skywalker Ranch, and Gary Rizzo was our head mixer. And then they sort of played with the vocalization in there to have the vocalization turning upside down also, which was like totally geeky and cool,
Going back to, which I forgot to ask you about, the fact that you have Sam who is learning about herself and comes to terms with who she is. But then I find so interesting that Bob, at the same time, is learning about human qualities, like being selfless, and about humanity, and about friendship and love. And he's quizzically looking at Sam and her human behaviors. Tell us about that arc of the story, which is fascinating.
Yeah, we love that because when you kind of think about it, you know cats are kind of selfish. Like you kind of like cats are a little bit like that. They're loyal for sure and loving, but they're kind of selfish. And we knew because we wanted Sam to be so generous of heart that dynamic of coupling her with someone who was more selfish, who could wake up to the idea of human love, right? He's a magical creature. He's a magical cat. It's not that he was some bitter guy. He's just a magical cat that really loved the idea of being lucky. And, he wakes to the idea of human love. And we just thought that was so beautiful. Honestly, we just thought it was just like super beautiful, and having Simon Pegg, voice that was just like crazy. Like Simon teared up in the recording sessions, and it was just so sweet and touching,
And the last question is about, you mentioned you did a lot of research with the foster care families, and what has been the reaction from people that have been in the foster care system?
Yeah, we got to talk to the actual young adults that we had interviewed, and they just were so proud. I mean, they got to come to the premiere, and they were so proud. And we've heard from a couple people who didn't know that was part of the movie, and they had grown up and had lived experience in foster care. And they were so touched. They all just said that for them, it's completely real and accurate. And they feel so proud to see their story in a movie. They're just really proud and touched. And we had a young filmmaker come to us, and she said, I didn't grow up in foster care, but my really good friends did. And I could tell by watching the movie, this is how they talked about it to me when we were teenagers. So I thought that was also like a fantastic note to hear from an audience member, that they could now understand their friends in a way that they couldn't before.
Mm-hmm. And I did wanted to ask you about COVID and making this film during COVID. Tell us about the challenges and.
Right. So you've all been on Zoom, right? Everyone's been on Zoom
for too long.
Yeah. So honestly, I think it was. First of all, I do want to say that myself, my whole crew, we feel very fortunate that we were able to continue working through COVID, as a lot of people weren't able to continue. So we feel very grateful. And then, but we had to learn, on Zoom, if you talk over each other, you can't hear anything. So you had to sort of stay really organic and creative in a story meeting, but not talk over someone. So you learned, you could feel that the meetings got to a certain pace where someone would finish and then someone would jump right in, So we learned that. And then also looking back, I feel like we got to know each other in a way we probably wouldn't had it not been for COVID, because everyone's at home. So now, Lawrence's son, Lawrence Gong, our co-head of story, his son's 3. He needs his sippy cup, so he comes in, I need my sippy cup, We know when Yuri's gardener comes, and we knew when somebody had to have construction. And, I think in a way, we got to know each other in a unique way than we would have in a work environment. We kind of feel like we know each other in a deeper way than we would. And just from the practical point of view, literally, you've got, I'm pitching an idea, or Keel's pitching an idea, and the story artists are drawing, and then someone holds the drawing up to the Zoom window, and everybody leans in, you mean something like this? And we're like, yeah, something like that. And then, the production team takes a picture in Zoom, then shoots it out to the rest of the team. And so we just created processes that would allow us to feel like we were in the same room at a table creating a story.
But just like Sam, you made the best luck out of the bad luck that you.
We pivoted. We definitely pivoted.
Well, that's great. Well, everybody's going to join us for the reception afterwards, and
Yeah.
we can continue talking with you.
Oh,
thank you
thank you so
for being here. Yeah. Oh.
Thank you so. Oh yay! He's like, oh, applause is over. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. I appreciate it so much.
We'll see you.